Chapter 9. Stephanie lay in her bed staring at the glow of the clock, projecting the time on the ceiling. She'd been here almost 2 hours and hadn't had a wink of sleep. Telling her parents why a police car had followed her into the yard hadn't been fun, but they'd taken it better than she'd expected. Especially after she'd told them Noah had been with her the whole time and was planning to come by tomorrow too. It made her feel a little less alone. She thought back to what he'd said when he brought her home. About being friends. She really could use a friend to get through this. She didn't have many here anymore. Most of her schoolmates had left to go away to different schools, and the few who had stayed behind had gotten married, some even had a couple kids already. At school she had a few acquaintances and some work friends, but there was no one she was close to. She didn't have time for close friends. She was always either studying, working, or painting. No one else cared about whatever she was drawing or painting, and that didn't leave much time for other things. Maybe once she got her degree, but then she'd have to find a better job. She suspected she'd be in much the same situation. Well, maybe not, she wouldn't be working and going to school like she was now. Thinking again of Noah, she couldn't help but smile into the dark at the way he'd taken care of her when she'd spotted the damage to her car. He was a good guy and a good friend. She would miss him once he went home. Where was his home? She tried to remember what he'd told her, and all she could remember was that he was an nurse, but not where. Had she even asked? She couldn't remember. Before she thought about it, she grabbed her phone off the nightstand and typed out a text message to him. Steph, are you up? Steph, you said you're an nurse, but did you ever say where you're from? She was going to give him a couple minutes to answer, then put her phone back if he didn't. He was probably asleep anyway. Wait, there it was. Those little bouncing dots that meant he was typing. Her stomach leapt. He was up. Noah, sure am. Noah, I don't think I did. I live in Tucson. Noah, small world, huh? We both live there but had to go hours away to meet. Steph, really? You live in Tucson? What part of town? She wasn't sure she should trust it. Was it possible he really lived in the same town? Could he just be saying that to screw with her? Noah, I really live in Tucson. Noah, I've got a house not far from Campbell and featuring Lowell. Steph, really? Steph, my apartment's not far from there. Noah, yes, really? Noah, I'm on Cherry, where are you? Steph, Blackledge, in between Cherry and Campbell. Noah, really? Noah, like behind Pizza Hut? Steph, yes? Steph, not directly behind but yeah, kind of. Noah, I'm between Hedrick and featuring Lowell. We're literally just around the corner from each other. Can you believe it? Steph wanted to laugh. Just like a city. They lived less than a quarter mile of each other, and had to come all the way up to Pelican Lake to meet. Steph, wow. Noah, I don't know what, but something brought us up at the same time. Noah, like we were meant to meet. Steph, seems like it. She wasn't sure what to say next, so she waited for him to say something. When nothing came after several minutes, she set her phone aside, rolled over and thought about this morning, and how easy it had been to spend time with Noah. How he'd been easy to talk to, and how he made her laugh. Her last thought as she drifted off was how much she'd liked the feel of Noah's arms around her when she'd been terrified. Steph woke slowly, glad she didn't have to be anywhere early. It was nice not to be startled awake by an alarm for a change. She stretched and wondered what was in the fridge for breakfast. Rolling over, she spotted the clock. 8:50 a.m. Shit. She jumped out of bed and rushed into the bathroom. After using the facilities, she brushed her hair and teeth in a hurry. Noah was supposed to be here in minutes, and she suspected he wouldn't be late. She rushed to throw on some clothes before he arrived, and barely made it into the front room when an unfamiliar pickup pulled up in the front yard. She was still trying to decide what to do when Noah climbed out. Steph met him at the door, opening it before he could knock. "Hey! Come on in." She stepped back to give him room. "You look nice." Noah smiled and stepped inside. PFFT. "I look like I woke up 10 minutes ago and panicked to be presentable before you got here." She headed for the kitchen. "Come on." She didn't look to see if he followed her. "Which I barely managed, by the way. But I've not gotten any caffeine yet, so you'll have to bear with me." "I'm easy. I came to help, not make things harder. We can get started whenever you're ready." "Good." She pulled a Rockstar from the fridge, popped the top and took a long drink. As she lowered the can, she closed her eyes and took a deep breath as the sugar hit her senses. "Want one?" She looked at Noah. "No thanks. I don't care for them." "You're a coffee drinker, right?" "Yeah, or water's good too." Steph went to the pot her parents used and felt it. "It's still hot if you want some." "Sure." "Anything in it?" she asked as she pulled down a mug and poured him a cup, just like she'd done for her parents for years. "Nope. Black is good." She set the cup in front of him and went back to the fridge to look inside. "Have you eaten?" "You don't have to wait on me." Steph stood, still holding the refrigerator door open, and pinned him with a look. "I'm hungry. I'm going to make me something to eat. Do you want some?" "In that case, what are you making?" She bent again to look inside. "I was looking for bacon or ham, but all I'm finding is sausage patties. How about breakfast sandwiches?" "Sounds good to me." Steph got everything out, and in under 15 minutes had food ready and everything put away. She stood on the kitchen side of the bar and ate, while Noah sat on a stool on the other side. "That was really good," Noah said when he finished. "Thank you." Steph shrugged. It was a simple egg sandwich, no big deal. "What do you think is going to be our best bet to get that stuff off?" She loaded the dishes she'd used into the dishwasher, including both of their plates. "I did a little research last night. There were several things suggested." He took a deep breath. "It depends on how much effort you want to put into it, and how much you want to preserve the paint. The thing's 10 years old. The paint isn't a priority, but at the same time, I don't want to drive a car with horror written all over it, even if it's removed and the paint faded with the same pattern." "No, I get that." He was quiet for a moment. "How about we try one spot and see if it takes it off or leaves visible damage? Once we know, we can decide from there." Steph looked at him a minute, trying to find a flaw in his suggestion, but couldn't. "Okay. I can go for that. What do we try first?" "There were several things suggested that you probably don't have, like Goo Gone, so let's skip those for now. Then they suggested rubbing alcohol, hairspray, and nail polish remover. I think our best bet is alcohol if you have any." "I think so, let me go check the bathrooms." She found a bottle in her parents' bathroom and grabbed a stack of washcloths on her way back out. "This is all we have, think it will be enough?" She held up the half-full bottle. "It's enough to test. If it works, we can always take my truck and go get more." "Fair enough." They went out and got to work, finding that the alcohol worked well and didn't leave the paint noticeably damaged. They'd gotten not quite half of the graffiti removed before they emptied the bottle. "Well, crap." Stephanie picked up the empty bottle and shook it. Just as I thought we'd get this done before too much longer. Noah straightened, looked at the bottle in her hand and rolled his shoulders. Steph flinched as she heard them pop. That had to hurt. I don't know about you, but I could use a break. Is this something we could get at your folks' store, or would we need to go to the other side of the lake? There was a small town on the far side of the lake that had a few rental places and a little bit of shopping, where the only thing on this side was her parents' general store. Mom considers it basic first aid. She'll have it. Great, so it's a short break then. Hop in my truck and we'll run to get it. Steph paused a second, trying to remember if she needed anything else, then shrugged and went to his truck. He got in and soon they were on their way. There you are. Her mother's voice startled Steph as she stepped into the family store. I've been trying to call for over an hour. Why haven't you been answering your phone? I knew I was forgetting something when we left, Steph said to Noah, who was right behind her. I left my phone on my nightstand when I got up. She turned to her mom. Sorry. We've been outside working on cleaning that crap off my car, and I didn't hear it. I was trying to check on you. I was getting ready to send your father over to check on you. I'm sorry. I'll get my phone as soon as we get home and keep it on me. Her mother shot her a scowl, then her face cleared. All right then. She glanced at Noah behind Steph and broke into a smile. What is it you're after? We need alcohol. It's a little early to drink. Her mother checked her watch. Not that kind, rubbing alcohol. Oh. There's a bottle under the sink in my bathroom. Not anymore, we used all that and now we need more. You know where it is. Get it out of the back instead of off the shelf. All right, Mom. Steph went to the back of the store where they stored the extra supplies of the few things they knew would be in higher demand over the season. Behind her, she heard her mother talking and the low timbre of Noah's voice as he responded, but she couldn't hear what they were saying. It took her a few minutes to find the alcohol, and when she did, she grabbed 2 bottles so they'd be sure to have enough to finish her truck and have some to replace what they'd taken from the house. I got 2, okay, Mom, she said as she came out of the rear. Do you think that will be enough? It should be plenty, plus enough to replace what I took from the house. All right. Make sure you stop outside and see your dad before you leave. I'm sure he'd like to meet this nice young man of yours. Steph resisted the urge to roll her eyes at her mom. It was obvious her mom liked Noah, not that Steph could blame her. She liked him too. But she had a hard enough time dealing with Eric to think about starting anything more than a friendship. All right. Is there anything else you wanted while we're here? She asked Noah. I'm good. Then I'm ready when you are. She went to the door and waited for Noah before heading outside. Come on, we need to go over here. She led him toward the dock and the gas pumps there. Hi, Daddy. She hugged her dad and held on as long as he held on to her. Hey baby, what are you doing here? Came for supplies. She showed him the bottles in her hand. Mom said to come see you before we left. We? He looked around. Oh hi, her father said when he spotted Noah standing nearby. Dad, this is Noah. He's the one who helped the other day, and was here with me again last night when we found my truck. Noah, this is my dad, Mark. It's nice to meet you, sir. Noah said, shaking her dad's hand. I figured out the dad thing from you calling him Daddy. He shot her a smirk. It's nice to meet you too, her dad said. And thank you for helping my baby girl. Dad. She doesn't like being reminded she's my baby, but she is, and it's hard to let go, especially of the last one. I don't have any kids, at least not yet, so I wouldn't know. But I don't mind helping where I can. Besides, Steph is fun and I'm enjoying letting her show me around. I'm reluctant to trust her with just anyone, but since you're the one who convinced her to tell her mother and me what's going on, I guess I can't have too much beef against her being with you. Watch out for my little girl though, will you? Her dad pulled her against his side again in a one-armed hug. You know, I am capable of looking out for myself. She couldn't help but speak up. I know you are. I raised you to be able to tackle anything you set your mind to. It's not you I'm worried about, it's that little son of a bitch trying to get to you that bothers me. Dad. What? I call it like it, I see it, you know that. Steph just shook her head. She knew her dad was just trying to protect her, but some days he made her want to kick him. We've got to get back to my truck, or I'll never be able to drive it. All right then, but be careful. He released her, and she headed for Noah's truck before anything could stop her and delay them again. I will, Dad. Steph waited until he unlocked it, then climbed in and buckled up. I'm sorry about that, she said once he was in. For what? Your parents showing you they care? No need. She couldn't help but think her parents were hoping that Noah was interested in being more than her friend. Hell, either could she, even though she couldn't handle more right now.